Saya kasih ejen duit, dia sudah lari, buat paspor, buat permit. Sekarang duduk pun susah. Hari-hari kacau polis apa minta. Sekarang dia buka permit, double pass. Saya angkat double pass balik kampung.
It creates a vicious cycle. People actually expect the next amnesty will come, and then you actually indirectly encourage flouting the laws. It actually erode the confidence of the public towards the public authority.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Narish Najwa binti Ahmad Faizul. My message number is 25005119. Today I want to present about introduction. Nowadays, our country is full of vagina. Either come with permission or come illegally. But most of them come illegally. Today there are an estimate 1.95 million foreign immigrants in Malaysia. The number is estimated to be equal to the total number of illegal immigrants residing in Malaysia. The figure is very worrying and a problem that plagues not only the state of Selangor but throughout the country. The jurisdiction of the entry, placement and recruitment of foreign workers is under the responsibility and control of the Ministry of Home Affairs. Throughout the implementation of policies and enforcement of the Malaysia Immigration Department. A total of 80,355 illegal immigration were detained by the Malaysian Immigration Department for numerous offences in 4,694 enforcement operations nationwide this year. Of the total illegal immigrants detained, the highest arrests were in Indonesia, involving 7,080 people, followed by Bangladesh with a total 3,060, while Myanmar is 2,401, the Philippines 1,478. The country next to Malaysia is Thailand with a smash 1,186 and India 1,065, while countries of no more than 100 was Pakistan with a total 795. Then Vietnam was 366, Nepal 323, and the last one is China with the lowest number being 320, and the rest are from other countries. However, party is seen to have taken over the local people's economy and is increasingly daring to close the local people rights board. The presence of illegal immigrant bring a bad culture and image to the community, and the environmental condition in turn hamper the government effort to improve the living standard of local people. The main problem is difficulty faced by the government in curbing the entry of these illegal immigrants. The police, army, and immigration department had to work hard to arrest them. They were detained and placed in a temporary detention center. Foreign embassies are less cooperative. The foreign embassy refers to issue temporary travel document to its citizens so they could be sent back. Foreign embassies also refuse to fund the cost of repatriation. This costs a lot of government energy, money, and time to be wasted in effort to prevent the entry of illegal immigrants. Our social security is also treated. Some these illegal immigrants are criminals warned by the authorities in the country of origin. They fled to Malaysia to escape raid by the authorities of their country of origin. Unfortunately, they continue to commit crimes here. Cases of robbery, murder, and rape are frequent. The victim will bear the trauma all the time. In fact, some housing estates are entered by thieves every night for a long period of time. This caused the local to live in fear. Case of Indonesian criminal being shot dead in police raid and not uncommon anymore. Even our troops had to be deployed to Sempurna, Sabah to face Filipino pirates who use sophisticated weapons to commit robberies during the day.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Umi Najih Habibti Muhammad Zubazri and my ID number is 250131119. And today I'll be talking about the reason why company or employers employ foreign worker, be it illegal or illegally. There are a few factors that employers have to face in the issue of hiring an employee. The very first factor is related to the issue of commitment. Commitment is an important element that employees emphasize before hiring an employee because this element can affect the performance of the business or the company. It becomes a problem to the certain sector that require consistent manual labor. For example, oil palm fruit harvesting, fruit, flower plant, animal husbandry or poultry requires a very high commitment and must be done according to the set schedule. If the worker does not meet this standard time or does not come to work, the crop will be damaged and the livestock will die. The low level of commitment and performance is the reason why employers do not want to hire local workers in the 3D employment sector. This factor has caused them to shift from local employment to foreign employment as it is seen as an appropriate action to be taken by employers because of the attitude and high commitment of foreign workers is an attractive factor for employers to hire them. Some of employers think that foreign workers are more positive and more motivated to work, and they also even work overtime. The very significant difference in terms of commitment shown between local workers and foreign workers illustrate the reality of why most employers prefer to hire foreign workers over local workers. They are not only diligent, obedient, but also willing to work overtime and barely ask for leave. The second factor faced by employers is related to the salary issue. Local thinks that the 3D employment sector is a sector that offers a low wage and is not commensurate with the work done. Such perception need to be changed as not all 3D employment sector offer a low wage. The public perception can cause difficulty for employers to get the local workers. As a result, employers have to hire foreign workers to fill the vacancy. In addition, most foreign workers do not care about the salary aspect, and some of them are even willing to work overtime and receive a lower wage rate compared to the wage rate earned by the local worker. Therefore, this situation drives employers to select and employ foreign workers compared to the local worker. These foreign workers are among those who do not care even if given a low wage simply to avoid competition among themselves. Every country has a minimum wage set, and in Malaysia, the minimum wage is set at Malaysian ringgit 1,200 ringgit every single month. Some of these employers will take this as an opportunity to pay this illegal worker wage lower than set by the government. The third factor is related to the attitude. Most locals love to choose jobs, do not stay for a long period, and often change jobs. Job selection attitude among local workers are also influenced by the social status factor. Most locals are more concerned about social status in community. Thus, the act of choosing a job among locals is seen as an appropriate action, and the 3D categorized employment sector is considered a low status employment. Most locals do not want to get involved in the 3D job sector because of the dirty, hot, and challenging environment conditions. This attitude among locals caused employers to choose hire foreign workers to fill the vacancy left by the local workers, especially in the 3D employment sector. This situation can be seen in the plantation sector, which require manual labor. The first factor is related to the issue of educational status. Opportunity for further education are increasingly open, thus changing the interest and aspiration of educated towards employment, making society plus the perception that higher education can be used as a passport to get a better employment opportunity with more lucrative income. This perception not only exists among the educated but also translates in the mind of the local people as a whole. This situation creates a problem for employers because most locals have a high standard of education, that this indirectly causes the 3D employment sectors such as agriculture, plantation, manufacturing, construction to experience a shortage of local manpower. Most young people with high qualification do not want to be involved in the 3D job sector, which is categorized as a job that is not par to the qualification they possess. This situation will of course create a huge gap in employment in the certain sector. Therefore, employers have no other choice but to hire foreign workers to ensure the continued economic productivity of their industry and businesses. That's all for the reason why employees employ foreign workers. That's all. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti Munirah binti Abdul Aziz. My ID is 2200611119. Now I'm gonna present effects of foreign workers. First is the positive effects. Among of the positive effects, foreign workers are enhanced to image of the country. The arrivals foreign workers to Malaysia also can promote country to the world stage. For example, promoting the beauty, flora and fauna help in indirectly country tourist industry to grow. Second is accelerate the process of national development. Malaysia is rapidly developing country with a strong economic growth. Malaysia constantly making comprehensive change, especially in the development infrastructure and systematic infrastructure. All this need to build in a short time in line with the development of the country. With the presence of foreigners working as workers, then the process of national development will take place quickly. Third is technology exchange. The arrival of foreign workers, such skilled and semi-skilled workers to the Malaysians, allow the country to learn and acquire new technology through joint ventures program conducted by the government or certain organization. Science and technology from outside can also give birth to a creative society. This has effect of making society more open-minded, and society can also explore the area. Okay, next I'm gonna present a negative effects of foreign workers. The influx of foreign workers into Malaysia has also and indirectly has a negative effects, especially on the community in our country. This is because wages are cheaper than employers. The local worker also receive the effects. It is clear that the presence of foreign workers cause a lack of employment opportunity for the locals. Next is the influx of illegal immigration in our country has a lack of to the construction of squatter house. The squatter areas are usually disorganized and lack basic amenities such as garbage disposal system and sewage. The situation causes environment pollution, and the country image is also affects the reflex or weakness of government administration and curbs the problem like this. Lastly, the local also have to share infrastructure with the foreign workers. The infrastructure provided by the government is mostly enjoyed by those who are also non-Malaysian citizens. For example, the local have to share facilities such medical, public transport such as bus, taxi, LRT with foreign workers.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Farhana binti Faris. My matric number is 220111119. Now I want to present my content, the role of company in reducing the increase in foreign workers in Malaysia. Nowadays, the issue of foreign workers in Malaysia is increased because of the attitude of some companies that does not take serious in the selection of employees. In the analysis, there are more foreign workers compared to local workers are working in sectors such as manufacturing, agriculture, construction, and services. Therefore, a responsible company they must play addressing the problem in increased foreign workers in Malaysia. First role is honest attitude. It cannot be done that foreign workers are still needed in Malaysia, but the question is how much and what is the skill required. In the short term, the requirement of unskilled foreign workers may be inevitable, so that the employers need to be honest in hiring employees by advertising the need to employees and prioritizing local employees. In the case, government intervention is needed in drafting legislation to ensure that the case of unlimited requirement of foreign workers by some companies do not occur. Second, reduce undercommon foreign workers. Employee must comply with government action in hiring foreign workers who only have a valid visa and have permit to work. Honestly, this matter need to be taken seriously by the parties involved to curb the attitude of some company that are greedy and violate this rule can be eradicated. Therefore, the policy of dependence of foreign workers can be reduced. Third, offer a higher salary. And employers need to be more considerate in offer higher wage without making excessive profit, so that it can attract local workers to venture into the job that are now filled with foreign workers, such as the manufacturing, agriculture, and service sector. Given that a large number of employees come from secondary education, it is actually not difficult for them to enjoy the low-level job which is now held by foreign workers. In conclusion, the party involved need to change in the mindset of local workers. In the face of the rising cost of living, they should change their mindset so as not to choose job too much. Therefore, local workers are more committed to employment. They need to appreciate the concept. The employment is trust that need to be done well and effectively, and local workers need to be smart in finding employment opportunities in their own country. Okay, for my second content is challenge faced in employment of foreign workers in Malaysia and tips to overcome them. In Malaysia, most of the companies from SME to international corporation rely on foreign labor to sustain their productivity needs. Companies are required to deal with the various laws and regulation governing the employment of foreign labor, while at the same time they take care the internal management of the foreign workforce. Here we are list of some of the common challenges faced by employers with regard to the foreign workers requirement, and some practical guidelines to help employers. Firstly, communication issue. Due to the language barriers, most managers reported difficulty in communicating instruction of company policies to the foreign workers. For the tips, in generally, having requirements of meeting to iron or for problem in understanding. The nature of work, employer condition, as well as information regarding occupational safety and health will regularly increase productivity and improve workers' performance. Employees can make use of visual tools like a infographic or video to improve the effectiveness of message delivery. Secondly, culture different. Coming from a different background with different lifestyle of growing up, it is not common to foreign workers talking different perspective at work or in their personal life. If this is not managed properly, it could easily lead to social problems such as gang fight, break-ins, dishonest, and work and others. For the tip to prevent social problems arising for foreign workers' requirement, they are caused by culture difference. Employee can opt for a simple culture orientation to be considered open their arrival to Malaysia. While they may not fit in well into the living community of local residents, employers may opt for accommodation placement will centralize hostel management. Lastly, absconding or known as runaway case. From abstinence to absconding, workers running away, these are the commonly reported problems that can cause serious disruption to the company cost of work. For the tip of runaway case in one of the effective way of dealing with absenteeism of accounting in to manage these workers under centralized hostel management by having times management system and transportation service to monitor workers attendance. It can effectively minimize number of workers. By having time management system and transportation service to monitor workers' attendance, it can effectively minimize number of workers absconding as well as preventing labor disputes and promoting harmonious industrial relation. Thank you. That's all for me, Farhana.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good day to my beloved lecturer, Miss Nadia. My name is Wan Muhammad Akmal bin Wan Marzuki, and my ID number 2200211119. I am going to present about the conclusion and recommendation. The presence of foreign workers is one of the most critical issues that have been faced in Malaysia. As we can see, the population of the immigrants in our country grows rapidly over the years. The problems are when more than 1 million among 3 million immigrants in Malaysia are illegal. Furthermore, our country has relied on foreign workers since the 1980s, but there is still no comprehensive policy regarding recruitment and placement of foreign workers. In 2010, Amnesty International stated nearly 20% or 2.2 million of Malaysian workforce are foreign workers. This is excluding the illegal workers. So, there is an additional 2.2 million illegal foreign workers. This issue needs to be solved immediately before it gives a huge negative impact to our country. In order to prevent the illegal foreign workers in our country, one of the solutions that government should do is not rely too much on foreign workers and focusing more on how to attract our local people in the working sector. From what we can see, the reason why most of the working sectors choose foreign workers because they can pay low salary, and this factor definitely lead to local people refuse to join the working sector or company. So that, in order to attract our local people, the government should strictly observe every company and employees regarding the minimum wages that reliable to our local people to survive. Other than that, government should put the minimum amount of foreign workers in every working sector. By doing this, there will be more Malaysians can fill the jobs. What is more important here, we discover that vast majority of undocumented migrants in Malaysia entered the country through riggers. This means with the required document. However, due to fraudulent activities and corrupt practices in the process of renewing their working permits, a significantly high number of migrants consequently become undocumented. This is the selfish practicing by some of the authorities. In order to prevent this from happening, the government should organize weekly counseling session to remind them the do's and don'ts when doing their job. Other than that, the authorities should be more effective to close all shortcuts, or they call it as lubang tikus, that have been used by those parties to enter our country. Those activities mostly led by some unmoral local people that want to get extra income by involving in this unmoral and dirty job. In this case, the enforcement must be strengthened by the authorities to punish those involved in these activities. It cannot be denied that foreign workers have been great assistance in overcoming the labor shortage in Malaysia, but it must be based on the rules and regulation in our country. This country is ours, and don't let those illegal outsiders to ruin our country reputation. Every one of us must take responsibilities to make sure our country can stand in working sector with our local people. That's all from me and my team members. Thank you, Miss. Assalamualaikum.